Mm-hmm.
So at least he has him in his car. But now the 2 week is up, so he has to leave. So in the end, we decided to let him use our learning center because evening is empty, nobody is there.
Mm-hmm.
But our place is second floor of office block high. So it's that Anson. Second floor on the office block. So we have to tell him have to be discreet, don't make too much, and everything because it's not supposed to have
Right.
anybody who stays in there, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that should be the temporary arrangement. Lily also told him that hopefully this is temporary because we also wish that he can be better off rather than relying on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in other words, it has been a year since the first time he stayed with us, and his condition doesn't seem to improve.
Right.
So yeah, I think need to send more love to him as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's a good thing. Well, it's a good learning lesson for you. It shows your compassion. It shows your heart. It shows your love. You know, because at the end of the day, nobody really looks out for him, and you look out for him in a good way.
Yeah,
So that's a blessing for you. So we honor you for your compassion. We honor you for your unconditional love to reach out and extend to those that are less fortunate than yourself.
yeah,
So you have to remember this: he doesn't know how to get out of that situation because he hasn't been taught.
yes,
So
yes,
even though you help him, try to influence him and teach him the best way you can on what works for you, what works with people around, you
mm,
know. And sometimes I've come to realize also people really like being in that condition. And it
mm,
took a long time to come to that realization. But when we do the homeless ministry here, there's a gentleman that lives here and he's been homeless for 13 years.
wow,
And I asked him, and he was content on being homeless for 13 years.
wow,
So it, at first, it kind of baffled my mind. Like, why would you want to be in this condition?
yeah,
And he was content with what he called freedom to not pay any bills, to not have any responsibilities, to,
mm,
not to be part of the community, if you will. Um, always a loner. So I had to say, okay, this person at the end of the day doesn't want
yeah,
it. And I had to be okay with that and say, well, he accepted this and this is what he chose to do. So all
mm,
I can do is send him love and bless him and, give him what provisions, that we can. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, 13 years, I'm like, wow, 13 years. That means 4 seasons, 13 years.
yeah, yeah.
And we're in California, so it's not bad, but it still gets cold here.
Yes, it still gets cold, and different places have different type of bad things that might happen. Here we have cases of people who are homeless and they freeze to death,
Right.
right? But some other places, not here, also have some cases where it's not because of coldness, but because of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Then people pass, life is lost, kind of things.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I still cannot comprehend why some people is like by choice they want that type of things and unconsciously they refuse to get out from it.
Right. And 1 year is a clear example that he either doesn't know how to get out of it or doesn't want to get out of it.
Mm,
And then
mm,
3, he knows when to come back. He knows you got to open arms to him.
yeah, yeah.
So
But he dare not kind of like he doesn't push us or insist us. He just asks, is it possible? Yeah, of course. Right. So after he stayed here for the 2 weeks where his time is up, he kept his promise. He left.
mhm,
So Lily text him, asked him, we have another solution that might work.
mhm,
So yesterday he went to our place to have a look at the small teaching areas that we have and say, okay, this is the place that might keep you from the elements for the time being. We don't want this to be a long-term solution.
right, right, right.
Okay. So yeah, I think the next step should be that we have to talk to him to teach him how to get out from those.
Absolutely. Because you drew him to your experience to teach him. Good morning, Lily.
Hi.
And it's a great learning experience for you
Mm-hmm.
because it teaches you how to discern, it teaches you revelation, it teaches you forethought, foreknowledge.
Yes, and also how to be extremely grateful of our current condition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have enough to assist someone else who isn't available or who can't assist themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a great miracle and blessing within itself. But at the end of the day, you have to say his conditions are his conditions.
Mm.
Because if he hasn't changed in a year, what happens 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Like I say, this guy was homeless for 13 years and he was content with being homeless for 13 years. And it took me a couple of years to ask him how long he was out here because I would see him consistently, out of everyone. And when
Yeah.
he told me, my mouth was like, what?
Uh,
But then I realized that's what he liked. He's fed, he's clothed, he's sheltered, he's provided for.
well, yeah, the basic need of survival is still there, but the suffering, physically you're not healthy,
Right.
mentally you don't have that kind of well rested of days, etc. So even though survival is still there, but I don't think it's good
No,
for the body and for the soul too.
no. But he was as happy as he could be. No.
That's his definition of happiness.
That was his and I had to be happy for his happy of definition.
Yeah.
Because remember, you can't change people and you can't change the world.
Yes.
So those two factors remain the same. So he either wants to change or he refuses to change. Simple as that. And if he refuses to change, now you have to make a choice. What do I do with my brother? How far do I go from my brother? At what point do I not hinder him?
Mm.
After a while, it becomes support.
Yeah.
Now he's a dependent.
Yes.
But he sounds like he has a great heart, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of keep that in mind and, kind of ask him, hey, you know, um, without trying to be a nosy, but really being nosy because he's in your place, hey, what have you done to kind of help yourself out? Have you found any jobs or, is there a reason why you can't work or, because there might be a disability, there might be a mental instability. There could be a couple of factors on why. And if you never ask them the question, then you'll never know.
Yes. Okay.
He did tell me that he has gone to interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time he will communicate with me through text message or something. So he would tell me that he gone for interview, and then when there's no, so he will get back to me when there's good news. So obviously he's still constantly looking to improve himself, right? His situation. He said he doesn't like this, this kind of living.
Okay.
And yesterday I insisted that, no, we can only help you for this time. And we want you to get up on your feet.
Right.
And he was going like, okay, back on my feet. Okay. All right. So it finally like kind of sink in that oh yeah, I have to get back up on my feet. Yes. I said, I want you to get better. And he said, okay. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah. And maybe you guys can assist him with resume writing for his interviews or better clothes or, something that's, no? Okay.
I don't want to get too personal because I know Caucasian, they don't want people to be nosy.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes the Asian way of showing concern the Caucasian thinks that, why are you all over me just because I don't owe you anything?
Right.
You
Got
know?
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it kind of, so I guess we'll see the time. Yeah. And then we'll ask him what kind of help he needs, you know, and then we'll direct him whatever he needs.
There you go. And that's a blessing.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Any by the ways, any testimonies? No testimonies? Zero? We're good to go?
Nothing, please, George?
I know, right? He got some brand new fountain pens. Those are nice. I like those. Very good. All right. As we get into our lesson, this is lesson 5, part 3, page 269. And we entitled it The Vigilance for the Kingdom. And one of our questions is, what is the kingdom? We often revert to the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God. What is the kingdom?
Kingdom is,
What's your definition of kingdom?
okay, from what I know, we always say, bring heaven on earth. So
Okay.
kingdom is not somewhere far, but it's here.
Okay. All right. How about that? Where do you think the kingdom is personally?
In your heart.
Yes, absolutely. So when they say bring heaven to earth, think about this. You're bringing your higher self back into your awareness self. The yin and the yang, that's the balance. It's the coming of, in other words, people think that there's a separation and there's no separation. That's why we always say we're one. Bless you. We're one. So if we're one, you cannot really bring heaven to earth, right? It's already there. So it's a state of your awakening, because if you don't go within, you go without, right? And basically, we always emphasize the meditation. We always say, greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. So again, if we were to say, where is the kingdom? Where is the kingdom? In your heart, in your conscience, in your spirit, in your beingness. We would tell you, you are the kingdom. Because think about it, in your kingdom, you have every provision provided for you. All you really need to do is go in and get it. Your house is within you, your relationship within you, your finances within you, your business is within you, your careers, your cars, your pools, your houses, all that stuff is within you. So when you do the 5 steps, you're really going into the kingdom of your treasure, and you're pulling your treasures out into the physical manifestation. So now faith is the substance of the things that you're hoping for and the evidence of the things not seen. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So it's unseen first, but then you go into your kingdom and bring it into the physical manifestation. Anson wanted a bow in the kingdom, so he had to go into Anson's kingdom store and get the kingdom bow. Make sense?
Yes.
So when we talk about the kingdom, you are kingdom. You are heaven on earth. You are it. That's why we call you God, little g, not big G. Because we're all the children of what? God. So he has a kingdom. You have a kingdom. He has a kingdom. I have a kingdom. We all have what? Kingdoms. We have keys to the kingdom, which is your abundance, your prosperity. That's your good health. That is your supernatural abilities. That is your faith. That is all that makes the whole of who you are. That's the kingdom. Make sense?
Yeah.
So what do you experience when you discover the truth? Now that I told you. What does the truth do for you? It's not part of the question, but what does the truth do for you? What does truth
Well,
do?
the first thing is after real. Sorry. My first experience when I discovered, the truth is like first is, of course, it's the disbelief,
Right.
and then like an amazement, you know, it's like, is it really like that? You know, after the disbelief is over, it's the amazement. Wow, you know. And now that it starts to sink in already, I appreciate it.
Right. Freedom.
Mm.
Freedom. When you understand that, when you understand that truth, that's the truth that makes you free. Everything you said is the truth that makes Sudi free. Make sense?
Yes.
And watch this. Those things that you said is what you experience when you discover the truth. Everybody goes through that. I went through that. The shock first of, whoa.
Yeah.
I cannot be what I am being told I am. How can I be this grand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I did so many bad things in my life. I did so many good things in my life. I've done nothing in my life. And I'm still loved unconditionally by God.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That was my first one, was unconditional love that I could not experience was the truth that made me free, that I'm loved and loved always. That is the truth that is true always. Is love never fails, because God is love. God is light. And when you understand that love, now this is why we emphasize the love so much, because that is the truth. And now that truth becomes your reality. Look how many people live in the illusion, like your friend who's in the state of homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And that is his truth.
Oh.
And that is his reality. But you see it, but in reality is what? A lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, for him, there's much better. Here's why you invest him so much. One, he's a part of your family, soul family. But then two, it's your love and your compassion for him. It's only him, nobody else. Look at all the other homeless people that are around. It's only him that you like. There's thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you favor him the most because of law of attraction.
Mm.
He teaches you, you teach him.
And he's also, like I say, he's very, even though he's homeless, but he's not nasty, you know, and he's by his principle. So he's a man of integrity. That's what I saw. So when he asked whether he can come back, I say yeah, but you know, the same situation, right? I'm not the owner and blah blah blah.
Right, right.
And so it seems like he was ready to move out. He said, yeah, my 2 weeks up, Lily, so I'm gone.
Right.
And I was like, wow. So homeless man has his principle too.
Absolutely. Doesn't make him, doesn't, because of his situation, doesn't make him a bad person.
Yes.
He's just in a situation that you want to help him improve on.
Mm-hmm.
With the resources that you have without really overextending yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth of that's the truth of the reality. You see the truth of kind of the big picture of the whole scope, where he sees an illusion. When Lily said, we want to help you get on your feet, you saw a light bulb go off. Wow, get on my feet again. Wow, nobody's ever told me that in such a long time, if not ever. Get on my feet. Wow, that sounds like a great idea. Just on the mere thought of that idea helps him. And then the compassion, and then the love. And then the most of all, here's what's big. You never judged him. You never judged him. You never judged his situation. In other words, most of the time people always want to harp on the other person's condition. Why are you there? Why do you get like that? You should be doing more. And you didn't do that to the harshness of what people do, and they think, oh, if I give you tough love, this is gonna straighten you out, and you're gonna do right now. And then a year later, they're still there, and you're like, didn't I just tell you? I gave you the answers, and you didn't take my advice. What is wrong? You don't want to change.
Mm.
Now you see how the judgment is. There's the separation. There's the division. Now, how that person feel, whether it's true or not, how does that person really feel now? You really want to come back to you on that? No. That's he's glutton for punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So he is part of your web of relationship. He is part of your soul family. He is the divine dichotomy of you see the best in him and you're going to help him bring it out because you're planting seeds. Because at least he's doing interviews. That's a seed planter. This guy, 13 years, he ain't been on an interview in 13 years. Don't plan on going on one. Has no intention on getting a job. So his job is one of being with a sign and with my hands. I would even give more respect of, hey, I'm gonna go do some hard labor and work for it. You don't even do that. So at least this gentleman has the integrity, you know what I'm saying, and the behavior that, hey, I have the ability to do better. I just need, really at the end of the day, I need somebody to teach me, kind of like the student. You continue to repeat and repeat and repeat, and that's how you learn. Everything that we learn is by what? Repetition.
Yeah.
Everything's repetition. We have to do it over and 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 over. And then once we learn it, then we learn something new, and we practice that over and over and over. He's practiced being homeless for how many years now? Yeah. He's practiced that for how many years? He's practiced how to survive for that amount of time. And watch this. He used the 5 steps, and he didn't even realize it. He asked, is given. He believed, he received, and he kept asking for it.
Wow.
People can be bad askers.
No, I think he's a good creator because he keep creating the whole same cycle over. And this
5 is going to get you the manifestation of what you're asking for. Because here's what happened. It's kind of like, it's almost like opposite, where if you say, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, you're going to get more of that. That's the law of attraction. That's reaping and sowing. So the more he says, I don't want more of this, and he keeps pointing at the problem and talking about the problem and talking about the situation, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the words that he keeps saying is so big that it's impossible for him to escape it. So now he's entrapped himself in his own kingdom. And now that has become the illusion of his reality. Now what happens is he goes through the experience. And that's what you're looking at. Makes sense.
Okay. It almost seems like he says that he's spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's almost like us because we did talk about that. And he said, yeah, I'm spiritual too, So right now I'm thinking, is the universe sending me an example of a spiritual person but poor?
Yes. He's your student. He's your student. He's your student. Teach him. At the end of the day, he doesn't know how. So you have to teach him.
Okay.
You can share the lessons with him. You can share your life lessons with him. You can share stories that'll benefit with him. There's several things that you can, because if he's spiritual, he's going to receive it spiritually. Okay. And that will help him wake up faster than any 12-step program or anything that he could possibly do. He just needs to be taught. Nobody's taught them. Nobody's taught love. Nobody's taught forgiveness. Nobody's taught these things. You kind of stumble on it, and what's the right thing to do? And a lot of people think that the right thing they're doing is right, when in fact it's completely wrong. And then they wonder why they're still in the same situation and why it hasn't changed. Because their believing hasn't changed, so the words haven't changed, so their heart hasn't changed. So if those 3 things have not changed, you see the repeat. You see the karma. Make sense? Also, when you acknowledge the truth that sets you free, is a mind that insists on conflict simply cannot accept that there is another way. Yet what awaits you is simply this. In the end of all your struggles, in the end of all your doubts, and in the end of all the moments of your unconscious conforming in the mind of the world, there remains a simple choice to be made, the choice to acknowledge the truth that has already set you free. I and my Father are one. It has been that way forever. It was accomplished in the being of Yeshua ben Joseph, Christ, who revealed the truth of myself because he loved me. And if he can do it, I can do it too. Even in this moment, I accept my destiny to walk this earth awake and at peace, in mastery and not in fear, and I will begin my ministry now. For who can seek that? Who can you seek that can heal you? Who can discover that can bring some form of magic to you that can overcome your resistance to truth? Look high and look low, and you will not find them. Seek forever, and you will remain a seeker forever. For truth is set within your heart, and all the power under heaven and earth is given unto you. It is that power that changes the momentum of the mind and heals every wounded perception. In the end of all seeking, you must look into the mirror and decide to be the one who heals yourself. You are the one who decides from infinite freedom how to use the power of your mind in each moment. Therefore, the only question the seeker of truth really truly need to ask him or herself is this: would I know conflict or peace? Would I be right or happy? Would I see the complete neutrality of all events in this world as a wisp of a dream being birthed and passing away? And these are the things that you share with him to help him understand the truth that'll set him free. That make sense? Yes?
Yes.
So this is kind of a simple lesson. So if you jump down to page 270, the second paragraph, that truth is necessarily within you and has been within you since before the birthing of time. It has been with you since before a tiny mad idea seemed to creep across the expanse of your mind and you chose to believe it. That reality cannot be taken from you. It is from that reality that you have awareness of your own existence. It is from that reality that you gather the fuel to create. Oh, my thing just reset on me. My iPhone just reset the whole numbers on me. That's too funny. All right. It's from that reality that you gather fuel to create a perception that you most desire, and the perceptions that you most desire are precisely the ones that you're experiencing at any given moment. Now, those of you that were abiding in reality, as you heard those words, immediately know that the means at no time and in no under circumstances are your perceptions being thrown upon you from some source or force outside of you. You know that in each moment, you and you alone have created the perception. So this person alone has created the perception of what? Homelessness, fear.
Yeah.
You are having within the field of the mind for no other reason than you have desired it. So think about this. He desired this, even though it's not a good desire. People can desire things that they don't want by the believings of their hearts. This is why the very pathway of awakening, regardless of the form of it, takes is always retraining of the mind. It is a decision to choose to discipline the mind at each moment to teach only love. Nobody's taught him to love himself. Nobody's taught him to love himself. Everybody has had pity and compassion on him, which is great, but nobody's taught him to love himself. When people learn to love themselves, truly learn themselves, and I say this to people all the time, learn to love yourself. And it's really up to them to figure out what that means to them. They go, Pastor, I do love myself. Also, why are you upset? Why are you depressed? Why are you sad? Why are you angry? Why are you mad? Why are you all these things other than joyful, happy, blissful, and in the flow? That means there's a part of you that you have not loved that you need to heal from. This stops a lot of the manifestation and the desires that people are wanting and praying for that they don't get. Because they don't truly love themselves. When you truly love yourself, you accept your whole package of who you are, and you let no one else define you. In other words, before Sister Meekins, I could date myself. I take me on my best date, romanticize myself, love myself, take myself to the movie, take myself out to dinner, take myself out to bowling, get to know myself because I thought I had to be around people. And there was nothing wrong with that, but until you have self-love of self, people will always lean on others for that portion that they're lacking within themselves, and there will always be a letdown. There will always be disappointment. In other words, at any moment, Sister Meekins can get mad at me and fall out of love with me. Just like people fall in love, people can fall out of love. I'm afraid it's no, but and vice versa. It won't happen, but you see it all the time in people's relationship. You see it all the time between parents and children, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, co-workers and employees. All the time. Bank robbers and police officers. Had to throw that one in there. It is a decision to choose my each moment to hold love only. That experience is like the pebble dropped into a pond that it sends a reverberation, a vibration throughout the field of your being, and that field goes far, far beyond what you commonly perceive to the boundaries of your body. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And this is one of the things you teach them is one, love. He has to one, see it within you, which he does. And then you have to train him or influence him to see it in himself.
Okay.
Those two things. Because he's spiritual. Questions, comments, concerns? All good?
We're all good.
All right. Love you all. Have a blessed week. We'll see you tomorrow, prayerfully.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good day.
Bye.
Bye.